Farek. Yes, I remember him. I was already old when he was still young. Farek has been here often. He wanted to know about the gods and the world. Let me guess, he's looking for a book from an old library again. What a fool. There are much nicer things to discover in here and now. Anyways, he's probably referring to the old monastery. It used to have a well-stocked library, if I'm not mistaken. You'll find it near Arthamak's gate in a clearing not far from the road. Okay. What the? Take me to the abandoned library. Farek has asked me to come with you. Farek is the witch there. He's... Or not. Or not. He's been obsessing about this book quite a while now and keeps talking about it. Unfortunately, no copy of the book remains. Not far from here lies an abandoned monastery and a library. Maybe we'll find a copy there. Are you coming? I guess you can choose the quest or what? Or whatever.
In the name of the Inquisition.
Let me ensure that I got rid of the bot. Everything's working. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I got rid of the bot. There we go. Yes, it was a bot. There we go. Perfect. There we go. They've gotten quite sophisticated, people, huh? Initially, they would not write messages in chat. Kind of like the golden rule was that if an account would write messages in chat, it wasn't a bot, as a rule of thumb. But now they've gotten quite sophisticated. They write OnlyFans sexual messages on chat. The house looks empty. There's nobody here except that raven on the pole outside the house. Okay. Right. I've already looted this place, but we are getting new quests because we are progressing through it. So let's get to it. Come on, I need to kill something. Azrael, nuts. Azrael wants nuts. No nuts, no help. Oh, they are pretty delicious. Dry fruit, nuts. They're pretty delicious. Don't be a degenerate, people, if you're watching it at YouTube, Bob. Real nuts are pretty delicious. Real nuts are pretty delicious. They are dried fruits. They contain a lot of proteins. Alongside the other ones, the buttercups and all of the dry fruits. Oh well. See? Perhaps that's what the bot was looking for in this stream. It was a premonition. Promoting OnlyFans shit. Which should be banned. Which should be definitely banned. Promoting OnlyFans stuff before I had to collect nuts. See, it was a reference. It was a subtle premonition.
Too easily.
Oh my god. All right, going back to the analysis and the stats and all that we were doing, people. I've been farming, as I've said. I've been farming. And I got this new stuff, and with this new stuff, that new stat was incorporated, called the opponent's my chance for a death blow. My chance for a death blow. Essentially, the chance for death blow ensures a hit that will automatically kill the enemy as soon as I drop their health below 38.4%. So yes, that stat will be of great help. Mine workers, ghost village, witching around. It seems to be somehow related to this one, the quest. Maybe I have to perhaps I have to collect those hands there. Perhaps first I have to collect those hands and then go over to the mine, or the other possibility is that they are different quests. So let's keep going. But yeah, essentially now I have a higher base damage, and the main problem was that the main problem is that I don't know why, but it's extremely difficult to loot one-handed staves. Sorry, in this game, it's quite difficult. Quite difficult.
I hardly believe in
Another
ghosts.
thing that I realized is that the huge difference between the spider, my unique spider mount, and my horse is that I can actually activate my abilities while riding, something which I couldn't do. Something which I couldn't do on that you cannot do with your normal mount. So that's another thing. So I haven't been paying attention to that, but look at that, look at that, look at that. I can activate my abilities while riding my spider. So that's new, that's new. Remember, spiders mounts, as you can see, 14.4, they decrease my regeneration time. And essentially, I can farm like this as long as a spider doesn't die, of course. But well, okay, I see some of those fire templars there. As you can see, I can activate my abilities like that, so that'll be quite useful. Hey, let me clean my chat because the message that. Let me refresh because I have a lot of the messages of the stupid bot. You cannot see it, but I can still see them. Hang on a second. There we go. All right. I think we have to collect the rest of those hands, if you ask me, people. So yes, new equipment, increased base damage, being able to trigger my abilities on my unique mount, and the chance for a death blow. So yes, we are improving, I would say. See how fast they die. Another thing that we discovered last time also is that I didn't have the correct order of mods applied to the game. I also learned how to do that special fast switch of my relics. There we go.
Now I will erase the rest of your being.
And what's going on with that quest? We are getting far away. That's not the objective. So witching about is ready to mine workers. So let's go over there. Let's go straight for the objective. It should be somehow over there. Somehow be over there. Yeah, I'm beginning to think that now degenerates use kind of like AI controlled bots. Like they are no longer the stupid bots that would just say 1 more follows, 1 more views, blah 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 blah. No. Now they leave you messages like that shit. Between Streamlabs updates and this degenerates, we're having such a wonderful time here on Twitch. Alright. Now, for today I wanted to analyze precisely the relic system of the game. Yes, people, it's something that we haven't paid a lot of attention to. The relic system of the game, in terms of the stats, and overall the stats system, which is something that we haven't paid, or at least I haven't paid a lot of attention to while playing the game. Essentially, this game, on average, has many more stats than your normal isometric action RPG. This is related to the fact, as I've been mentioning, that the game actually has a lot of MMORPG elements and all of the things that we've talked about, the genre classification of the game. But yes, it's something extremely subtle that, as I always say, reviewers sadly don't pay attention to at all. But the main idea is that chance for death blow, reflection chance, the rest of the crazy stats that the game has, for example, increasing the points of your skill tree through modding your gear is also quite interesting. The game has the stat diversity and complexity of an MMORPG, as I've been constantly mentioning people, but it's not just that. The Relic system, on top of the main stats, the Relic system, as you can see here, as I change my relics now with my hotkeys, and now we can appreciate it. As you can see, it dramatically changes my elemental defenses. This is incredible. Why, you must be wondering? Well, because in 99% of games, you don't have a way to actively change your elemental resistances. I can think of one case, for example, in which you can see your elemental resistances clearly. For example, Borderlands or Hellgate London, if you'd like. Those, or in Skyrim or in World of Warcraft, in none of those games, regardless of the genre, regardless of the fact that they are MMORPG, isometric action RPG, or whatever, they don't have a way to actively rotate through your elemental defenses like Sacred 2. In fact, I think this is a special case. So far, we are doing a 100% completion, so we explored a lot of the map, and when I say a lot, it's 100% of it, precisely. I explored all of the map. I've farmed in all of the map that you see, which is a lot, which is quite a lot. And essentially, in all of my farming, in all of what I've been doing, there's only one piece of equipment, which is this one, that which is a legendary amulet. This is the only piece of equipment out of all of my farming in 20 days that actually provides me with all of the elemental armor types or elemental resistances. It's the only piece of equipment that actually provides me with elemental resistances permanent, with a permanent buff that applies to all of them, to all of the elemental resistances. In the case of as for the rest,
This will be a witty conversation.
none of my equipment,
Do not confuse bravery with madness.
none of my equipment provides me with elemental resistances, as far as I can tell, at least so far. So yes, essentially,
I'm banishing you.
either that amulet is extremely unique, which I think it's the case because it's of legendary quality. It's the highest quality of gear that you can loot. So essentially, only very special gear provides you with elemental resistances in this game, and you rely on the relic system that you see down there. That's ice resistance. Essentially, the game has 5 types of damage. Physical, which is the most common that we all deal in the game, both enemies and myself, in fact. Both enemies and myself. As you can see here, this is my damage. It's physical and fire damage. The idea is to make this at least 50% fire damage. That would be sweet. But as you can see, most of my armor provides physical resistance against physical attacks, which is normal in this game. Like you can see there, that my physical armor it's 659, but the rest of them they are all roughly 100, provided by Arthamak's star, which I was very fortunate to stumble upon. But otherwise, there would be 0, and you increase them through your relics. And I think that's such a unique take on elemental resistances, which is the topic I want to discuss today. In most games, generally, you have like that elemental resistances, but not in the same way as in this game. Because in this game,
What's happening?
okay, I don't know how to complete the other quest. It went away. There? See an objective there. Ah, so it was here. Picked up nuts. Okay. Now that is crazy. Grow. Here are your nuts. Ha! All witch gone. No more thread rush, she said. It's thread rush, she said. Well, that would be more like a parrot than a crow. Look for thread rush. Stupid hog, stupid. Gone for 3 days now. Left me to starve.
was a great success.
Alright, that was interesting, and we're done. Let's move on to this one, to the ghost village. We must have gotten all of the collectibles, right? Target library entrance. Yeah, we'll leave that one. The energy stained herb. Yeah, we have a lot of quests. Let's focus on Ghost Village, people. Let's focus on that one. The Ghost Village. I'm supposed to find the book of the historian. All right, we are going. It's a quest that the witch just gave us. So let's hit the road, and then we can use our resurrection monolith. Each weapon has a blue damage converters. Ah, yeah, to turn your damage. Yeah, I know. Let's get over there. We've wasted enough time. Then we have to explore that section of the map that I mentioned. We have to explore that section of the map that I mentioned. This one right here is the only one that we haven't explored. But first we'll go to the north. So let's go over there. It's the last section of the map that I haven't explored.
And this is only the beginning.
Should have pretty good cooldown, 14 seconds. Plus all of my attacks reduce my overall cooldown. Basically, this is a road that we haven't explored. Damn it, that's bleeding. I discovered that this game has bleeding damage only last time.
They are real pain.
No worries.
And this is only the beginning. Foreseeable.
All right, my defenses. We need to change to fire defensive. See, this is what I'm talking about. I love how the game forces you to actually rotate between your elemental resistances. I think it's a pretty neat and amazing idea, because most games generally treat elemental resistances, by not saying 99% of games, treat elemental resistances in a passive way. Kind of like you just increase them through your gear and that's it. And that's pretty much it. You just increase your elemental resistances and that's it. And that's it, people. And you don't have to worry anymore about them other than looting good gear. I think it's a very, very positive idea that this game implements the Relic system that you just saw. Ah, it was back there. Okay, let's go over there. I think it's a pretty positive aspect of the game. A quite original trait it has as well. Because it forces the player to be actively engaged with the game. I would even argue that it plays a very important role. Damn it. Those spiders are pretty powerful. It plays a very, very important role in keeping the player engaged, and it makes the combat more active, in the sense that it forces the player to be constantly swapping or switching between them. I realized that when I did the T Energy Dragon boss fight, I actually used poison resistance because of that area of effect green attack, but I think it was fire damage anyways, or must have been magic damage in that case. But yeah, I did it without enhancing my resistances. So yeah, I think the game has a pretty amazing elemental stat system. Quite interesting because all enemies deal physical damage. Essentially, all of us, both the player and enemies, deal physical damage. But then you have to actively, and that's the important part because that's the difference with most other RPGs. You have to actively switch between your resistances. Hey, it's not through here. I'm getting a bit confused. We're in the middle of the forest, people. How do I access that area? How do we access that area? Through here, probably. Why? Probably there we go. There's a shrine or something like that. Freeze. Police. Yes. No, this is the library we should enter. Can we enter? Yeah, we can. First dungeon of the day, people. First dungeon of the day. So, let's see. Lots of spider web, corpses, or to be precise, skeletons. Let's switch to poison damage. Or there are ghosts. I'll stick to poison damage, I don't think.
Animal product with 3 letters. Fur. No.
I love it. I love it. It's forcing me to change my
Recognize your mistake.
my defenses on the go. Like the game actually rewards the player for remembering the hotkeys for each elemental defense. I need to remember them. So I did magic, poison, fire, and ice is the last one. Okay. So ice is the last one. Okay. Okay, let's go.
First, I will make you bleed.
See, for example, these ghosts, they are not immune to physical damage. They have a complete physical damage resistance, but they are not immune to physical attacks. And in fact, I don't think any enemy in this game could be immune to physical attacks because it's impossible. I'm beginning to think that in this game it's actually impossible to have kind of like immunity against physical attacks. Why? Because physical attacks essentially are the base elemental gameplay mechanic of the game. I mean, both the bosses and myself, we both rely on physical attacks and physical defense. Like you can see there that the rat, for example, has physical damage and poison damage and physical armor and poison armor. But no enemy, not even the toughest enemies in the game, are immune to physical attacks. Kind of like immunity against physical attacks doesn't exist. And for a very good reason, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to land most of your damage, because this game uses a hybrid elemental system. That's what I wanted to get to. You always deal half of your damage will most always be physical damage. You can push it even further and remove it. But even so, there will always be a bit of physical damage involved. Like, it's difficult to eliminate it 100%.
I hardly believe ghost stories.
And if you can eliminate your physical damage almost 100%, it's generally with weapons that are two-handed. So, for example, I just looted that other stuff that you see down there. That other stuff that you see down there, and it has almost 75% of... Where's my doppelganger? Ah, there's my doppelganger. Let me clear the rest of the area, if you don't mind.
I'm banishing you.
There's a lot of loot in here.
Erase the rest of your being.
There's a lot of loot, people. So yes, for today I wanted to analyze the elemental system of the game, the elemental resistances and types of damage of the game. So I think it's a pretty amazing system because it subtly encourages the player to actively swap between them, between your elemental resistances, to survive encounters through the relic system, through doing this and paying attention to the enemy's types and resistances. That's something that I haven't paid attention to so far, so I think that speaks a lot about how well crafted the game is, to be honest, because even if I didn't know that out of ignorance, I could play and enjoy the game. Granted, I was not fighting at 100% capabilities,
I'm banishing you.
but the game was playable until I could learn that. So
Justifies all
good,
means.
good. Definitely a steep learning curve because most people don't expect to stumble upon active elemental type resistances. Let's all agree that that's essentially uncommon. That's essentially uncommon, and in fact I think it's unique. Hey, they are respawning or what? Well, I don't care. I'm here to loot that stuff, and also for the objective. There. One thing's for sure, we are looting a lot of money. Remember, the game has an internal clock system that ensures that the more you stay alive, the better the rewards. So let me align the camera to the north for now until I need to once again change that. So yes, people, a pretty intricate stat system if you ask me because of what I mentioned, but I think it's an ingenious idea, forcing the player to actively kind of like forcing the player to actively swap between elemental resistances. It's an amazing and ingenious idea compared to just looting gear and just having kind of like a passive buff, like in Borderlands or in Hellgate London, or like in 99% of 99% of MMO RPGs and modern RPGs. So yes. Essentially, I think it's a great idea because of what I say. It forces a player to take an active stance, but not only that, by splitting. Let's say, I think we completed the objective or not. Ah, well, there's one more zone. I'll have to rotate the camera. There's one more zone that we haven't explored. I think it's an amazing idea, and because it also diversifies the loot system of the game, in the sense that you not only have to worry about looting normal gear and relying on the fact that it will include elemental resistances, but in the case of this game, you have to loot, besides your gear, your relics. So by dividing the elemental resistances, by kind of like leaving the elemental resistances to the stats, or to the relics of the game, you are kind of like creating a division. And that objectively, metaphysically makes the game more complex, because instead of just doing, passive brain dead, I looted good gear, it has a billion fire resistance, no, you have to actively loot the relics, but besides looting them, you need to remember to use them constantly, to rotate between them constantly like this. I think it's an amazing idea because it adds to the abstract complexity of the game. The same with most of the gameplay mechanics that I've been analyzing, but this one is particularly unique in terms of the innovation category of the analysis because I think I haven't seen it in any other RPG, and it's something that I haven't paid attention to and I wanted to highlight today and evaluate in depth. It's here somewhere, but I bet there's all sort of vermin down there. Hey, vermin.
Task has been accomplished.
Alright, I had to talk to this imbecile before getting into the library. My bad, people. Please tell me that they haven't respawned. I don't think so. Nope, they haven't. Good. So we've already cleared it, so damn it. This is pretty good, eh? Speaking about dungeon variety, this game has a lot of dungeon variety, kind of like we've had wine cellars, caves, crypts, all sorts of themes, let's say, of themes for dungeons in this game. So yeah, fortunately it remembered that I had cleared the dungeon. Good. They didn't respawn. Okay. The spiders. Mind your head. Yeah.
It's fun.
Another thing that I did, I changed
Does that hurt, heretic?
wait, I changed the in terms of a skill tree. I also changed the I changed here in the Astute Supremacy branch of the skill tree. I swapped Raving Thrust for Clustering Maelstrom. I swapped them because this one essentially deals area of effect damage and it can deal quite a lot of physical damage. I know it's the worst type of damage that you can deal because all enemies will have physical resistances. But even so, it's better than this one, which also deals physical damage. So, oh. Value now. Will be useful. You have no idea how much time it took me to clean my inventory during the weekend. Okay. There we go. Give me a sec, I have to turn on my AC. Give me just a sec, we'll continue right now. Give me a sec. There we go. There we go. Sorry. Okay, as I was mentioning, Um, you found the book, excellent. Then let's get out of here. I agree, we've done enough here. Uh-huh. So we have to return back to the witch. There, Rose Village, mine workers. This one disappears. I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's explore the rest of this area first. Explore the rest of the area. Because I want to have this explored once and for all. So let's do that. But yeah, that's essentially what I wanted to review today. How the active relic system forces a player to be psychologically active, let's say. I love how impressive and innovative it is, but because I think it's unique to this game. But it's just what I told you, what I always mention. It forces the player to be actively engaged with the combat system of the game. Like, imagine that we just loot gear that gives us that passive elemental resistance. Imagine we just loot that, like we do in most of MMORPGs, isometric action RPG games, and modern RPG games. Like, that inherently, in a very subtle way, does not encourage abstract thinking when an abstract complexity of the gameplay system when you are fighting enemies. Think about it, people. What's more actively engaging? Being forced to constantly switch between my 4 types of relics constantly according to the enemy according to the enemy's elemental resistances, because it can have more than one, or just looting gear that passively increases my elemental resistances. What's more actively engaging and more complex? I think it's more complex, definitely. The relic system that this game implements. Give me a second, because I don't want them to kill my spider. When they deal that damage over time, it's because they'll kill my mount, and my mount it's a million gold. Think about it, people. The game successfully forces me to be constantly switching between my elemental resistances, rather than just doing the brain-dead solution of loot gear that will enhance your elemental resistances. And that's it. And that's it. And the game does it, because I just showed you an amulet. An amulet, yes, it's an amulet, that I looted long ago that does actually increase my elemental resistances. It does passively increase my elemental resistances, but take into account that it's pretty much the only one that I ever looted. I only saw it once. It's a legendary quality item that as I told ya here, it's called Arthamak's Star. Only one item. Consider this abstract relationship in your head. I've explored, let's say, 2 continents of the game. Easily, only the central part of Ancaria could easily be it could easily be an entire game, right? The central part could be an entire game. See how big the map is. We've explored, let's say, mostly almost 2 complete regions. I've been doing a 100% completion of the game. I've been farming. I've been killing all of the world bosses. I've been doing all of the side quests with all of the rewards that involves. All of that, and I only looted a single item in 20 days of 100% completion gameplay that passively increases my elemental resistances. Only one item, only one, which is the Arthamak's Star. that indicates that the game developers knew about the usual way in which generally elemental resistances are handled in games, right? That's kind of like the very basic layer. Ensure that the gear that the player may loot has elemental resistances, and then add elemental damage to the NPCs of the game, and ensure that the player can increase his elemental resistances passively. On top of that layer, they added the second layer that I wanted to comment today, and all of the relic system of the game that I'm showing you. As I told you, here, as you can see, I can increase my elemental resistances actively. It's not a passive way of handling elemental resistances. And that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible, because it forces the player to actively engage with the defensive aspect of the gameplay mechanics. Generally, in Borderlands, in Hellgate London, in all isometric action RPGs that we play and everything, we just worry about dealing damage, and then our passive resistances take care of everything. Here, the game developers successfully force the player to take into account a second layer of abstract complexity. I know it's extremely subtle and stupid when you realize about it, because it comes naturally that you can change your relics, and that you can basically we go through here. That you can basically increase your elemental resistances like this after you've been doing it for a while. But consider this, I've been playing for 20 days and I just discovered this and mastered the quick usage of them last time. Pretty much. Because it's such an ingenious and unusual mechanic. It's such an unusual mechanic that you have to kind of like relearn the way in which you think of elemental resistances in your usual RPGs when you're playing any other RPG. I love that. I mentioned that as a positive aspect of Dungeon Siege 3 as well, that the game had a lot of that the game effectively ensured that the player would have to relearn kind of like, let's say, founding pillars of the RPG genre. Like, it's very, very positive because it means that the game has a lot of innovation, that is not stagnant in terms of other entries, other games of the genre. It ensures that another second. It ensures that so can I get through that forest? That would be sweet. Come over here. I know. It must have a resistance against pulling them. I know, you cannot get through the forest now. We'll have to surround it. We'll have to surround this forest. Thank you. There you are. And I think that's a pretty good way of implementing a different way of dealing with elemental resistances. I think it's unique to this game, so extra points to the innovation category of the analysis in that sense. Like, actively switching between your elemental resistances, I think it's an amazing idea. Because, as I've said, it increases the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. Like, otherwise, the game would be brain dead in the same way that, for example, I don't know, farming in World of Warcraft or Diablo may be. But in this game, it's another element that contributes towards creating an engaging and active combat system. There we go. I think it's pretty good, because as I said, it forces the player to not be in a brain dead state. Alright, we have to go to go to the other side of the forest. Pretty good. I wanted to highlight that because I know that it may sound stupid since we already know how the game works, but consider that it took me 20 days to realize it, and you guys probably also wouldn't have realized if I'm not telling you about it unless you play the game. So yes, the influence of in this case is the stat system. The elemental resistances are part of the stat system. This portion of the stat system is quite special, and I wanted to focus on it for today. Well, I've already spent a whole hour talking about it, but well, you get the point. It adds to the complexity of the abstract gameplay mechanics, and I love it. I honestly love it.
Do not confuse bravery with
I honestly love it.
take your place in the army of the dead.
Hey, that's a new phrase. So yes, essentially, there's a road. Okay, we will already explored all of this. Let's get to that other forest over there. I want to have a complete exploration of the map. We enter through here, I guess. That's a lot of spawn density. Careful. Let me change to that. All of you, come over here. And now, explode. See, now I know my rotation, people. We no longer stack. I grab all of them together and I use the...
Mercy does not happen today.
And I use the... ruthless mutilation. I wonder what's the story behind these paladins, these arc paladins with fire resistance. I wonder what's the story. That will be part of the grandeur category of the analysis, but we still haven't paid a lot of attention to the storyline so far, because of how slow, how massive the world is, and how slow our progress through the story is. I mean, our overall progress is not slow, but our... Ah, right. There we go.
Get out of the sun, human.
I think this is it, pretty much. It could be that there is a zone that you cannot explore there. What's it now? Let's surround it. Let's surround it. It should be through here. Through here, I can enter here, and there's nothing. Just more idiots trying to kill me. Let's go back over there then. A weird structure, but nothing else. There we go, over there.
Repent, child. Repent.
There we go, careful with those. Those spiders are responsible for killing most of my mounts, now that I think of it. Because of that damage over time, poison stuff. Alright. Have we been here? Looks like it. Clear. There we go. And I wonder if there's any other quest in this house. Anybody home? You?
What's happening?
Have nothing to say? No.
I'm telling you, they can be used in
No quests there? Alright, well. Well, we've cleared the whole area. Ah, we need to go back there. True. We need to go back there before we go back to Arthamak. Today we'll explore the dungeon, people, huh? Oh, the dungeon, the volcano. Sorry, the volcano here. We have some quests here at Arthamak. We'll explore this zone and the volcano. Today I wanted to focus on those and this one. I want to leave finally this area concluded. I want to finally conclude this area. Wanted to finish exploring this area. Hey, there's a dungeon there. But we still don't have any quests that lead us there. And I think this is it, people, huh? This is it. I think with those two quests that we did, I think we explored everything. Yep, pretty much. So let's go back to the Resurrection Monolith. Let's explore that last section of the terrain back there. Here we have Ghosts, so we go back to Ghost, to Ice damage resistance, and let's follow the road over there. We should just follow this road. We should just follow this road. It should lead us over there. Let's just hope they don't kill my spider, otherwise we'll be in a heap of trouble. All of you come over here, and now.
hardly believe ghost stories anymore. First, I will make
Let me reduce the stats of the bear. Bears in this game are always quite powerful.
I will make you bleed.
Ghost bear, ghost wolf. There's a bit of recycling here in terms of the enemy mechanics, but at least they switched the mobs' resistances. Normal animals are not resistant against any type of damage. These ones are resistant against ice and poison damage. Fortunately, I have fire damage. That's right, we get rid of them. We keep going. There we go. So yeah, I am quite pleasantly surprised by that extra layer of complexity that the Relic system is in this game. But by that extra layer of complexity that the Relic system brings to the game, definitely, because it forces the player to actively, as I said,
You feel death now.
switch the elemental resistances on the go rather than being a simple passive thing A simple
I'm
passive
banishing
stat
you.
that you don't worry
Now
about
I will erase the
um,
rest of your being.
at all, besides
Body
looting
or
good
none,
gear.
you shall suffer.
It makes it kind of like different when compared to just looting. Generally, elemental resistances are, as I've said, exclusively passive looting and passive stats. So I think it's quite good that we that the developers of the game thought on how to add an active layer of engagement to the defenses, to the players' defenses of the game. Hey, we reached the bridge, mysterious bridge. Secret path. Let's see where it leads us. So yeah, conclusion for today. I love it that it adds an extra layer of
Believe
complexity.
ghost stories anymore.
Ah, but it's closed. Interesting. We have a secret zone over here. We cannot yet access. I think I can still deal damage to them. No. Alright, this is a dead end. Nothing at all. I wonder what's in there. What's that quest? That's probably the quest related to this. But it seems to be kind of like not available yet. Alright, it's kind of like a secret zone. Let's follow the other path. The other diverged path over there. Let me see. Here. I think we've been here. Last watch, no. What's this place?
Of my destination.
Ah, yeah, remember, I think I stumbled upon this place off stream, but we never did any. I didn't grab any quests or anything. Last wish, why is it so dark? Or last watch, sorry. Last watch, I think it's.
Now I will erase the rest of your being.
What's this? A graveyard? Oh, secret quest, people. It probably has to do with entering that zone that I just showed. Yeah. Okay, we're getting into the secret zones of the game.
This won't be easy for you. I'm banishing you. Now I will erase the rest of your being.
Gravestone. The 4 billion blocks of the universe are fire, water, gravel, and vinyl. Okay, let me clear the area first, then we grab the quest. Yeah, I remember farming close to this place, but never fully entering. I said last watch, everything went dark, and I said, let's go back, I'm just farming. Guardian of Souls. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. Beautiful.
I only mean to help.
Think not disdainfully of death, but look on it with favor, for even death is one of the things that nature wills. We're getting philosophical here, people. Don't worry, I won't get philosophical again. Abandon all hope. Well, that one is much more straightforward. Sure. Grave. The last thing Tharkane saw was the spine of the Codex of Daemons, as it opened, and a daemon plucked the heart, still beating, leaving the eyes. Demons? Don't tell me there are also demons in this game. This one certainly looks like one. That would be a new enemy type. That would be a sweet enemy variety. Sweet turn of events in terms of enemy variety. Nice turn of events. Drawing on my fine command of the English language, I said nothing. Parrots make great pets. They have more personality than goldfish. Cherry. If you are getting those references, people, I'm not getting all of them. They're philosophical phrases in some cases
Feel the
that I
power
get,
of the
but
Inquisition.
in the case of others, politicians like Churchill, but Relic isn't a lady, she's a dead woman. Okay. Goron the Confused, he was almost a philosopher. No, an philosopher. Gravestone. Gravestone, there's a great power in words if you didn't hitch too many of them together. Susie the Seraphim said, where's a planet guardian when you need one? Interesting. It gets quite dark when you get in here, and you have this weird portal. Is it a dungeon or what? I don't know, worries. We are ready for everything, people. I have my skill tree, my new skill tree. A pretty high defense chance. And besides, I updated all of my gear. So, yep. Let's say, what you say that we grab the quest? You have probably been thinking grab the quest eraser since I entered this place. If you are thinking what I'm thinking, we are probably having two different thoughts right now. Never mind, I'm sure you still have a lot of things to do here. Somehow this quest I cannot grab it. I don't know what role that plays in here, but well. We still have to turn in interesting news, so let's teleport back to Griffinborg and clear the rest of the area. Alright, but I couldn't. That quest clearly had nothing to do with that there. But well, we know one more area. Then don't worry, once I finish all of the side quests in the game and we get to the end of it, the story, I'll go back and simply check all of those secret areas. We'll do kind of like a secret areas run at the end. There we go, don't stop me. Should be able to bypass this area easily.
Respect for the pride of creation.
There we go. Ah, it's a dungeon. We haven't finished that dungeon. Could have sworn we did that dungeon. I could have sworn we did that dungeon. Probably we did, and it's a different. Probably we did it, and it's a different objective. No. There we go. I know it's a different. Is it the Minotaur dungeon or? I think it's the Minotaur dungeon. Huh? Ah, no. It's another one. No. Take that back. Ignore me.
First, I will make
Ignore me. They are just humans. Ah, there we go. We get rid of these guys here. And that's it. Very much. They don't have elemental resistances. This is so sad. There we go. Easy. Easy. Surprise me.
Animal product with 3 letters.
Yeah, you are.
No honeymoon period.
Another one of these weird stations. Careful, there are traps. Get rid of the traps. Get rid of the traps. They don't display health. That's it. Sweet. Good. Good people, good. Easy. That was easy and fast. Okay. Generally there in these dungeons there's a lot of loot, but I don't see anything. No, I don't see anything at all. Pretty easy quest, people. Pretty easy quest. Okay, let's. It's over there. Hey, maybe this is a nested quest, huh? And we have to do some other thing. This is a 3-something winery. 3 wins. Winery, 3 wins. Over there. Let's go. There we go. Let me sell all of the useless stuff at a better price here. They're all common quality. Huh? Dragon Mage, yes. Another good aspect that the game has, or at least this version with a shared inventory, is that all of what you loot, kind of like, imagine if I were doing kind of like a run with all of the classes of the game, I would be looting stuff for all of them. See, for example, that's something that the offline version of Hellgate London simply doesn't have, and it's terrible. It does work on the online version of London 2038, but not with the offline version, for example. 66. No, we have pretty good relics. We've got pretty good relics. Should be mandatory. A shared stash among characters in any offline isometric action RPG or everything. Alright, there we go. We are recovering from the T-Energy Dragon boss fight that we did on Thursday. We are recovering. Our economy is recovering. So yeah. Move over there. What? You? You found my machine? Now you know how we enslaved the women. Yeah, I remember this is part of a side quest line in which we had to go and get some nomadic women for this village so they could reproduce or something. And then this was apparently an estate quest.
The task has been accomplished.
Please spare me, don't kill me. Alright.
They call me a bad wolf because I'm solving your problems.
Alright, we get the experience, we finish the quest. And we what do I do over there? We have to go back there. To go back there. Follow the road, and I know it's through there. And we go back to that. Yeah, I shouldn't activate the monolith here because I don't have a portal. There's no portal apparently in the northern section of Ancaria. Hey, werewolves! Our old friends. 2 streams ago, precisely 7 days ago, on Tuesday, we beat the bloodthirsty werewolf boss. Okay, we arrived at yet another village here. Let me turn in the quest. What have you brought me there? Ah, now that is a nice crystal. Very beautiful, almost flawless. I can offer you this in exchange for your crystal.
It is finished.
Body's Vestment and Saraki's Intuition. I think I had Saraki's Intuition. Body's Vestment, Seraphim shit. Seraphim shit. Damn it. Not for my class, people. Not for my class. Alright. Let me get... That's a legendary though. And if I don't sell legendaries here, I lose a lot of money. I think I had... call my stash. Come on, Goblin. This way. Goblin. Goblin here. Service intuition. We are working on a full set. But that one is of a higher level, so it's better. And now we sell this for 40,000 gold, and we are almost at 3 million once again. See, people, we are recovering. We are recovering from that ghost dragon, from the T-Energy Dragon boss fight that we did on Thursday. We're beginning to recover our economy. Alright, and with that, as you see, I've cleared all of the quests in Northeastern Ancaria. With all of that, we completed all of the quests. The only zone that remains to be seen, that you just saw that I couldn't access it because we'll come back later, is that last watch special zone there that it wouldn't let me enter that secret zone. So probably there are more secrets over there, or at least one more in that dungeon. But as for the rest, you saw that it wouldn't let me take the quest. So then, as I've said, once we achieve a 100% completion of the game, we will go back and explore the secret zones, let's say, that I cannot access yet, right? Because kind of like it's a sequential system that the game uses, that you cannot access certain secret zones without, I don't know, reaching a specific point of the story. It must be, I don't know. Even though we are not that bad in terms of the story, I mean, we should go to the western zone of northern Ancaria for that. But well, let's head over to Arthamak's gate. Up next, it's Arthamak's quests. We have to turn in some of the ones that we just did, and see if there are more nested quests there, and then we'll go over to the volcano. So let's head over to Arthamak's gate. Let's change our resistances to fire, our elemental resistances to fire. There we go, good. So yes, for today I wanted to analyze what we've been talking about for an hour, how the second layer of complexity in terms of elemental resistances system is achieved in the game. I think it's as a conclusion, I think it's a highly, highly positive aspect of the game, that it forces the player to actively swap between the elemental resistances, rather than being a passive, brain dead mechanic inserted within the gear that the player has. Kind of like in most MMORPGs, in most isometric action RPGs, in most modern RPGs, you simply loot gear, and the elemental resistances are a passive buff. And this game does have it with that relic it wasn't a relic, it was an amulet. With that amulet that I showed ya, but consider that it took me 20 days to loot it, and it's of legendary quality. Let me turn in the quest. It should be inside of this house. No, outside, over there. Outside, I thought. Outside. So yes, I love that the game adds a second layer of elemental resistances system. So you found it, great. It does really exist. There you go. Letter drop from book received. There we go. Let me finish the other quest. I love that the game mimics kind of like Europe 100%. Like, we're right now in the German section of the game, but you could see that we were at the Italian Roman Colosseum and at the French city and everything. So it's amazing. He's completely worthless, but he has the most extraordinary eyes. They're as blue as the heavens on a clear day.
Since this matter is
There we go.
to
There you go. Go back to your husband there. That one is done. And the mine workers, could it be that we just finished, that we just saved them? So we go over there, and our next step, people, is volcano. The volcano, indeed. We'll take the boat to the volcano. Here's another quest. We did it. What a discreet, friendly man. He's quite likable, even if he's completely honest.
The Inquisition
Yeah.
is said to be heartless.
Thank you for the flower
I will prove to
there.
you
No. Right. I have to go back. It's a quest. It's an ongoing quest. An ongoing quest within the city. Yeah, let me finish it, because remember, we need to be very organized because we're doing a 100% completion again. A troll, how awful! Here's the jewelry. Take it back to him. His life is worth more than this
Shall we
memorial.
seal it in blood? I mean, ink?
Another one. It's getting interesting. So yes, essentially that's what I've been mentioning. The game forces the player to actively switch between the elemental resistances that you have. And I love that it's a second layer of complexity, which increases the abstract intricacies of the gameplay mechanics. As I've said, think about World of Warcraft, think about any modern RPG that we generally play, and think how brain dead it could potentially be just having your passive elemental resistances in the gear you loot. The game does have it, Sacred 2 has that, but on top of that, it adds an incredible second layer with the Relic system. He's married. You should have to pay for his reception, but you have many sides, it's so blue.
Just worry about the collection.
Alright, what now?
I will be back soon.
Hey, this is endless. What's going on? Ah, to the other side. There we go.
I have reached
Well, no
my
wonder this is the
destination.
last quest we
What
need
is
to do
going
in the
happen
city.
now?
What his wife wants to do to him is terrible. He does get bored with her. I told him, welcome and play anytime of night. There we go. Anyone else? No, looks like this is the end. Ah. Ha. What is this? You're returning my jewelry and giving me such a lovely bouquet. Alright then, I'll let my half off the hook. You should be grateful to ya. Guards, you may leave. There'll be a transformation to it. Okay. What? You saved my life. You have more than earned this reward. Thank you. Perfect. Let's